Whether you're a musician, artist, or writer, we've all been there, sitting at a blank page or an empty project, just waiting for inspiration to strike us, yet we end up leaving the room with nothing created whatsoever. Welcome back to the channel, guys. And if you're new here, I'm Billy, and I share a little bit of my musical journey. Whether it's my original music, covers, or behind-the-scenes videos like this discussing different issues that musicians face, I like to bring a space of positivity and conversation and a safe space to discuss different issues as a musician. So grab a drink, sit back, relax, and we'll get right into it. I'm sure most of you read the title and thought, wow, that sounds a lot like me, and I wonder how many other people are affected with writer's block. So I figured in today's video, I just kind of discussed what it is and my journey with dealing with it. We've all heard about writer's block over the years, and maybe even experienced it a time or two, like myself. The feeling of not being able to come up with any ideas or feeling like you hit a dead end on a project that you're once excited about can be quite a bummer, especially when you have many creative outlets. Practically every creative person I've met has fallen into the trap of writer's block at one time or another, so don't be ashamed if you're currently going through the process of writer's block or if you feel that you're a bit tired and burnt out with your creative endeavors. Sometimes it could just be a form of overabundance of work that has left your creative juices a bit overworn and overextended. Other times it could be a bit more serious, whether it's mental health issues or complete burnout from doing strenuous work day in and day out. And if you are struggling with something that's a bit more serious, I definitely advocate people to reach out and search for help to better themselves. But if it's just a general case of you feel a bit worn out and stuck in a rut, this might be a video for you that we could deep dive into how to overcome such struggles and barriers. I would like to add that I saw a quote in a video I saw where writer's block was being short of ideas, but having too many ideas going on at once, and not being able to buckle down and focus on actually creating. Instead, you're thinking about all the different possibilities that you have to work with. And if you're in that case of too many ideas going on, you might also be experiencing a case of burnout. And if that's the case, I figured we'd dip back into it and talk about it a bit more. Burning out from too much work on your plate, and you might get a bit too busy when it comes to working on your creative endeavors, causing you to feel overwhelmed with everything. Quite a few musicians like myself, we played on stage before, some more often than me, or if you haven't played on stage, you might have dreams that play on stage one day with your music. And if that's the case, you'll soon begin to realize that there's a lot of work entailed to even getting to that point on stage, from rehearsals, band practice, writing material, getting a group together, booking gigs. All this extra work and details can cause you to overthink everything and cause you to end up getting burned out, which in turn affects your creative process to get to this point. And maybe some of you watching this might be lucky enough to make a living off your music or your artwork, or you're like me and you have a full-time job outside of music. On top of your full-time job, whether that's music related or non-music related, you have other obligations such as taking care of yourself, paying your bills, helping take care of your loved ones, hanging out with friends every so often, or pursuing other interests and hobbies that you enjoy. Over the years, my relationship with writer's block has evolved, and I figure out ways to work through it, and I'd like to kind of discuss how I went through this process. For me, I've always enjoyed practicing my guitar or bass, scouring the internet on music forums, learning all the information I can, working in my DAW, or even catching a local gig or a concert and being surrounded with music. Just the thought of creating music has given me a lot of joy, and that's even led me to creating and releasing my own original material that you could find on streaming services. I've been in a few projects that have performed on stage, and when I'm not in a project, I still think about what it would be like to get out and gig and play out in front of people. And during these in-between times of not performing, I do what I can to continue working on music, whether it's writing a new song or learning a new cover tune just to keep my musical abilities in shape and just developing my skills further as a musician and a producer. However, there are days where I feel frustrated when I'm playing, like I can't get anything right, or I spend weeks tweaking a mix over and over and over again before I go back to the original mix or the second mix, just to realize that was probably the best version that I had. There are moments where I know music's my primary hobby and what I spend most of my time doing outside of work, but there's times where I realize that that might not be the hobby that's calling me right now or what I'm mentally ready to be engaged with at the time. I have never considered giving up for good. However, I give myself the grace in knowing that it's perfectly okay to take a breather every now and then. Much like working out and exercising, it's definitely okay to take a rest day or 2 or 3 just to take a step back to look at music from a distance and refocus, regroup, and reconsider exactly where I'm going, where I'm at, and where I want to be. Oftentimes I'll return back to a few other pastimes and hobbies that I have. Sometimes I'll find myself cooking and meal prepping a lot of food for the week, or hiking and exploring a new area during the spring and the summer, or sitting back and reading a book or playing a video game just to unwind and decompress from music, and I'll be sure to take time to unwind and focus on things other than music, so then that way when I return, I can see things with fresh eyes and have a new perspective on everything. I always know that it's okay that I'm taking these breaks and giving myself time away to refocus and regroup myself with music. And one thing I learned is that it's okay to take time for myself to focus on other hobbies. The key is learning to step away when you need to, and doing so without guilt. And the best way to beat writer's block is to stop fighting it and give yourself a break when needed. Many musicians, artists, and creatives will tell you that there are a ton of behind the scenes details that you don't see while you're scrolling through Instagram or YouTube shorts that we deal with on a regular basis. Social media might have a lot of creatives fooled, but at the end of the day, it's not always a race to see who can create the most stuff and have the most stuff available online at one given time. Even with full-time content creators, they'll run into the wall of writer's block and burnout from all the work that they're doing. Taking time to prioritize yourself and giving yourself time to not only relax and unwind is probably the most beneficial things that you can do when it comes to burnout and writer's block as a creative person. I can use my YouTube channel as an example. I'll go through periods where I'll have a lot of ideas in mind. Most of them are well above my skill set as a video editor, and cause myself to drop the projects before I even started on them. Other times I'd have to spend time editing everything down into a cohesive message to make sure everything flowed correctly, just to get things going and have it be smooth for my audience to enjoy outside of my music videos and cover videos that you typically see on my channel. Realizing that I could use my channel as a creative hobby and as an outlet to showcase my music has definitely allowed me to escape the mindset of I have to be a big YouTuber that a lot of small creators tend to fall into when they start a YouTube channel. And looking back at the past year or two, I'm grateful I've slowly made progress with content on my channel and exploring my musical journey. At the end of the day, it's not about chasing numbers or keeping up with other people. It's about enjoying what you create and enjoying the journey along the way. This mindset has definitely allowed me to enjoy all my creative pursuits. Even if I'm not the biggest musician or biggest YouTuber, I'm still having fun with everything that I do with my channel and my creative interest. I've never sought out fame, but I've always enjoyed sharing my creations with the world, regardless of how many views I get or how many streams I get on streaming platforms. Hopefully most of you watching this have similar views of doing art or music for the joy of it. And for those of you that are doing this as your full-time job, I admire the work you guys are putting in to sustain yourself, and be sure to take time for yourself to unwind and decompress. Music has led me to open up more and meet a lot of amazing people. From jam sessions that I had in person to collaborating with amazing people online, I'm grateful for the music journey that I've had over the years. I'll take each day of writer's block with stride, because I know at the end of the day, I'll overcome it, whether it's playing a gig or I'll have a new track to release. And as we're nearing the end of the video, I figured I'd ask, what does writer's block for you? What do you guys do to overcome it? What are some tips and tricks that you can share in the comments below to work through it all? I would definitely love to hear it, and don't be afraid to send out a line and I'll respond to you guys. And in the meantime, be sure to give this video a like and take it easy. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.